Alright, gang. Welcome back to another episode of Aselia the Eternal. I'm going to give you fair warning right now. This is going to be a long one. This mission is 14 turns, or 40 turns, I should say, and there's a lot going on with it. First things first, I was in a little bit of a panic earlier because I thought that I couldn't get the mana crystal from Mission 18 and Mission 19. I did find out that there is a way to get it. It's just, for whatever reason, works differently in Mission 19 than it did in Mission 18. Hard to say why, but this is still going to be a successful 100% run of Aselia the Eternal. Mission 19 is fairly straightforward. We've got a lot of enemies. We've got a lot of some secondary objectives going on, but primarily we just need to get these three towns down here, which is not too difficult to do. The challenge, similar to the way it worked on Mission 16, is being able to get all the towns and also get all the other goodies. So there's going to be a lot of moving around, there's going to be a lot of building and demolishing. This is also going to be probably the best opportunity that we've had in several missions to train. So my goal was to get basically all of our units to level 20 by the end of this mission, if not higher than that. For context, the maximum level that you can reach on New Game is 30, and we are several missions, only a handful of missions away from the end of the game. So we're trying to get everybody in line, and we will actually also get the final trainer in this mission as well. So we are very firmly in the end game here. Let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be the formation that we're using. I'm going to use Aselia, Asperia, and Nanadu. I'm going to use Yuto, Utica, and Celia. I'm going to be using Shia, Nymthor, and Himika, and I'm going to be using Aselia, Halion, and Orpha. No particular reason why I use these units. There's not any kind of weird stat check like there was on Mission 18. But like, we're not fighting any dragons, right? But this was sort of the loadout that I found that was effective, and so I stuck with it. But you'll see, we're going to be very busy this turn, or this mission. So first things first, we're going to build an ether jump facility using EO specifically here in Ino Sayokima. We're using EO here because EO takes 10 turns to build our ether converter, whereas Yotia only takes 6 or 5 once we finish the laboratory. And it's going to be a while before we're really ready to go here, so we want to get it started now so we're not waiting on it, but we don't need it done as soon as possible. We're also going to build a training facility here however the hell you say this, right? And we do want an ether converter here, which we will be using for Yotia on the next turn. But to me, it's more important that I get training as soon as possible, right? There's two ways to do this. You either do the training first, and then you delay your ether converter or ether jumper by a turn, or you do your ether converter or ether jump turn 1 and delay your training by up to 6 turns. So obviously, we're going to take that single turn loss so that we can start training our units. We're also going to demolish a bunch of buildings here. We're going to demolish the laboratory in Rosario. Now that we have a level 4 laboratory, the level 3 laboratory is no longer doing anything for us, so it's just wasting ether at that point. We're going to demolish a training facility in Slugged from Mission 16. This is only going to give us a 10,000 or 1,000 mana, but it's worth doing. And we're also going to demolish a ether jump facility in Hielan Shaletta, which is going to give us a big chunk of mana. And I'm just going to go ahead and train Helion here. I'm going to get the 2 black spirits in the reserves up to level 20 as well this mission, so I'm going to start that now. We can't train yet, so instead we're going to start attacking. We're going to attack east. We want Fury. Absolute block 6, and we want Lightning Fire 1. Fury will one-shot this red spirit with Flame Laser, and then Lightning Fire will do a lot of damage to this defender. I said it already, but this is going to be a long video. I'm not going to skip the battles or anything like that. We'll see if that ends up being a bad idea or not. But I have spent basically since sunup this morning playing this mission on and off. So I have put a lot of hours into this game, and I put a lot of hours into this mission specifically. Not as many as I did in Mission 16, but still quite a bit. We're going to attack with Formation 4. Aselia, Hallian, and Orpha. We're going to be using Fury, and we're going to use Inferno, and this should let us finish off this formation. Also, there's going to be a pretty big story segment about the first third of the way through this mission, so that's also going to be part of the problem. I do have safety saves for this, like I did in Mission 16, so I'm not super worried about messing it up, but I'd rather not if I could avoid it. We're going to do Formation 2. This time we're going to attack the west. We're going to do Uruka, Yuto, and Aselia. We're going to be using Shrouded Sword 2, Violent Block 5, and Ice Banisher 3. This enemy has Arc Flare, which we don't want to get hit by if we can avoid it. And this is also a Heaven Sword enemy, so Heaven Sword plus Arc Flare is almost certainly going to kill our defender. One of the strategies that's still pretty effective against Heaven Sword users is using up their charges of Heaven Sword on units that you know can take the hit, which then prevents them from using those charges of an attack on units that can't take the hit, which is what we're doing here, right? I know that Yuto can take this hit. I know that Uruka can also take a hit if we need to. So by attacking the Heaven Sword enemy here, we've essentially cut down their ability to hurt us meaningfully by about half. And that's a useful strategy in situations where you can't just kill the Heaven Sword enemy outright, although you will see that there are situations where we can do that. And then we're going to attack with Formation 1, attack this same formation here. Eien, we're going to be doing Impulse Blow 2, Accurate Block 6, and Flame Shower. You know what? This video is going to be 3 hours long anyway. I might as well just speed through this a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't make it too hard to watch, but, I mean, literally, it's going to take probably about 3 hours to record this video as it is anyway. So as you can see here, this enemy basically can't do any damage to us. So we can block with Aselia here without worry. And then we're going to block with Formation 3. We're going to use Triple Swing 2, Accurate Block 7. And we're going to use Ice Banisher 3. This formation is still very effective. Himika as an attacker with the Blue Spirit means that you have basically 2 attackers and 2 supporters in a single formation. And so this will allow us to do a big hit to this defender while nullifying this red spirit. Again, I apologize if this makes it hard to watch. I shouldn't have to do this for the next mission, but for this mission in particular, it is going to be kind of a nightmare to sit through this. We're going to do it like this here, taking advantage of the fact that Utica can take another Heaven Sword hit. We're going to do Explode. And Explode is very quickly turning out to be one of my favorite abilities in this game. And we're going to do Ice Banisher 3 again. Because we're going to take this hit from the Heaven Sword user, and then you're going to see that Yuto just kills the Heaven Sword user. So they only got one attack. Defense is the best defense. Okay. Now that we've finished building this training facility, we're going to use Yotia to build an Ether Jump client. We're going to swap Via and Aselia, and then we're going to train. We're going to train Nanadu. We have enough trainers that we don't need to be particular about this right now. We're going to train Yuto. We're going to train Aselia. We're going to train Hellion. And we're going to train Hallion. Just trying to get everybody up to speed here. Defend with Formation 2, which is going to be Utica, Yuto, and Celia. This is going to allow us to kill this attacker, hopefully. But Yuto has more HP, so he can take this hit better. And he has a better block skill. As hard as that is to believe. And now we no longer have to worry about that enemy. We're going to defend with Formation 1 here. This supporter really is not threatening us at all. So we're going to use this as an opportunity to do a bunch of damage to this whole formation using Nanadu. Just like that. And then we're going to do it again. We will sort of run low on mind for both Nanadu and Himika throughout this mission, but nothing that we can't handle. Triple Swing, and we're going to use Ice Vanisher 3 here again. Just doing the same thing that Shia was doing previously, but now it's Aselia. Crucially, Aselia can use her Ice Vanisher twice, which is not important for this enemy, but I think is important for the next enemy, if I remember correctly. Which is why we swapped them, in addition to just wanting to train them. See, this enemy has Inferno, so we need to be able to banish them twice, which Aselia can do, fortunately. And Nymthor, because of the extra levels she got last turn, or last mission. Is it last mission? Mission before that? Anyway, she can take a Heaven Sword hit, believe it or not. Not very well, but she can take it. Let me go through the actual level ups a little bit slower here. Nanadu is a very simple character. She does not get very many abilities. Just overriding the lowest version of Water Shield, not a big deal. Our blue spirits are actually becoming pretty decently tanky against some of the red spirits and some of the black spirits, actually, which is quite nice. We're on turn 3 here. We're going to train Nanadu again. I'm just going to pick the lowest trainer. We're going to train Yuto. We're going to train Aselia. We're going to train Hellion. And we're going to train Hallion again. Hallion's biggest asset is her HP, so we really want her to reach that promotion so that she can tank it and become as tanky as possible. Alright, we're going to defend with Squad 4 here, which is going to be Shia, Hallion, and Orpha. No notes there, just Fury and Inferno to kill this enemy here. Just like that. And then we're going to attack with, or block with formation 1. Eien. Attack with formation 1 again. We're going to switch down to accurate block 5 here. Sorry, 5, not 4. Just so we're not using up all of our good charges, and then we're just going to keep doing this. And then we're going to switch down to Leap Attack 2. And this is going to be our final Flame Shower. But we've done a lot of damage. Okay, now, since we're out of Flame Shower charges, let's start using Formation 2. Utica, Yuta, Aselia, same deal here. Just trying to prevent this enemy from getting a Flame Laser off. And then we're going to do it again. Formation 2. Aselia also can nullify this Red Spirit. She and Aselia share that quality. And then for this, we're going to switch it up because we don't want Yuto to die. So our final Ice Banisher 3 is going to block this Flame Laser, and then Explode is going to kill this Heaven Sword unit. So they only get to attack us once, which is quite nice. Alright. Eien gets a better block skill, which we're going to use to get rid of accurate block 1. And then we're on to turn 4. We're going to train Nelly. We're going to train Aselia. We're going to train Hellion. We're going to train Shia now. And we're going to train Celia. So, the nice thing about this part of the mission is that we're really just letting the enemies come to us. And so we're using our actions to train, and then we're killing the enemies on the defensive turn, which is, I think, quite efficient. This one doesn't particularly matter. Yuto's going to be able to clean up these two enemies. And then we're going to do Formation 1 again here. Go back to Impulse Blow 2 now that we've rested. And this enemy can't do anything to us. So we get to be really, really greedy here and just do as much damage as possible. And then, right back to where we were, Triple Swing, Ice Banisher 3. I need to make sure I don't go too fast. Triple Swing 2, Ice Banisher 3. And Aselia gets, at level 17, gets Heaven Sword 1. We're going to override Impulse Blow 1, because it's our lowest damaging attack. We don't really care about Hellion too much, so we're just going to override EI Sword 1. And then Water Shield 5. Like I said, many of the blue spirits are starting to become pretty tanky now against red spirits and black spirits, because while they don't have tons of HP and they don't have tons of defensive stats, if you're only getting hit for 300, then a 300 potency block is good enough, right? Alright, turn 5. We're going to train Nelly. We're going to train Aselia. We're going to train Hellion. Just training everybody up to level 20. We're going to train Shia. And we're going to train Celia. I know I said at the beginning of this that this was going to be a major training session, but you might not have anticipated that I really meant it. But I did mean it. Let's do it like this. Try Sword 2, Ice Banisher 3. Yuto can take this. Heaven Sword attack. I'm using Yuto to block here instead of Utica because Utica is still not full HP and I don't want to take any chances. We block the Ether Sink and then we do a bunch of damage to the Blue Spirit. And then we're going to block here, same thing as before, Formation 3, Himika, Nymphor, Aselia in that order. Ice Banisher 4, overwrite Ice Banisher 2. And the same thing here. Just overwrite the lowest version of the ability. Chia promotes, but doesn't get any new abilities. Celia promotes and gets a new ability. Heaven Sword 2. It's doing less damage than Aselia's Heaven Sword 1, but it's still an upgrade. So, we are now on turn 6. And we're just going to keep training. We're waiting for these enemies to basically kill themselves at this point. We're going to train Nelly. We're going to train Yuto. We're going to train Aselia. We're going to train Hellion. This is the last level she needs before she gets to level 20. And we're going to train Hellion. We're going to block with Formation 2 here. Not going to change. We're going to use Utica to block since she's now at full HP, which allows us to kind of kill this attacker. Unfortunately, after this, they won't have any more attacks, but, you know, it's the thought that counts. Now that we've gone through a bunch of the enemies, I'm going to slow down a little bit. I just think that it's harder to watch when it's going at, you know, 5 times speed or whatever. Explode does a lot of damage. It's a really, really good attack. Yuto continues to be one of the best characters that we have access to. Because he just has great stats, he has great modifiers, and he has good utility. Same thing here, Triple Swing 2, Ice Banisher 3. We're still on the town, so we don't need to worry about our ability charges. This enemy is going to start walking towards us. Alright, turn 7. We get an improved version of Violent Block, which is a big deal. Get another improved version of Water Shield for Aselia. And in this case, I'm going to choose to overwrite Iron Maiden. Well, actually, I'm going to choose to overwrite Weaken. You know what? I'm going to overwrite Terror. I changed my mind. I was initially going to overwrite Iron Maiden, but Iron Maiden does target defenders, and it does lower their defense, so I feel like this is a better solution here. We get another version, an upgraded version of Harvest, which is nice. We don't need to do a ton of healing in this mission. Yotia finished her Ether Jump client, so we're going to build one in Bahtbart. This is going to be in a couple missions from now, basically at the end of the game. But we might as well do it now since we don't need her to build anything else at the moment. Now that we have this ready, we're going to now jump Formation 1 and Formation 4 to Rakios. The reason why we're doing this, even though this isn't ready yet, and will not be ready for another, what is that, 7 turns? Or 3 turns, I think? Is that we need to get the Mana Crystal. We don't need to. We want to get the Mana Crystal from Bahtbart. So, the reason why I was confused is that in Mission 18, we were able to trigger the item event by doing another action somewhere on the map. For whatever reason, the item event in Aselia and Bahtbart does not work that way. So we need 2 formations here instead of just the 1, which is a bit unfortunate because it does mean that this mission goes a little bit slower than you'd like, but it is still doable, so we're going to do it. And now that Eien is level 20, we're going to start raising Farin, and we're going to train Aselia to level 20, and we're going to start moving our Formation 2 down to this town over here. We really chewed through, excuse me, a good chunk of the enemies already, so we can kind of go where we please at this point. But we're not in a hurry to go anywhere at this point. So we're going to keep letting the enemies throw themselves at us while we train. We're only training 1 formation at a time at this point, but that's alright. Do you one-shot this unit? No. Just as close. Okay. We're in turn 8 here. We're going to Ether Jump Formation 1 to Aselia. It doesn't really matter. This is just how I did it. And we're going to Ether Jump Formation 4 to Bahtbart. So it really worked out for us that we built both of these at the same time. because it means that we get to save on having to send these units back and forth. Let's see. We're going to train Farin for level 20. And we're going to train Himika for level 18. And we're going to move Formation 2 south. Let me just tidy this up. And we're already kind of split up a little bit, unfortunately. That is part of what makes this mission challenging, is that there's a lot of other things going on that you're trying to do. But this mission is, in a lot of ways, actually pretty generous, I think. It does give you a lot of time to figure things out. The turn limit, or turn requirement, is pretty precise, but there are things that you could do differently to speed things up. If you really didn't care about the 10,000 mana, which I wouldn't blame you, you could speed this up further by having another formation available for the majority of this fight. She gets counterattack 4. Farin is actually not bad. She's got 5,400 HP with 400 attack. She's actually not a bad unit. She just suffers from competing with a bunch of other units that are much better. Okay, turn 9. So here's where things get a little silly. We have to move these formations off of town, and then on the next turn move them onto town in order to trigger the event. We're going to train Himika. And we're going to continue moving Formation 2 down south. We're going to defend here with Formation 3, Himika, Nymthor, Aselia. No need to change things up right now. Okay. We get swing 3 here, which is a damage increase over swing 2. By quite a bit, actually. Just about doubles the damage. And our Ether Jump client in Inuyasokima is done. Which is, it's a little bit early. We're not going to be able to get to it until, I think, like 2 or 3 turns from now, but we're ahead of the game. We're on turn 10. The first thing that I'm going to do here is make sure we move Formation 1 back onto Accurice first. Accurice is the initial trigger. So if we move to Bahtbart first and then move to Accurice, we trigger the event, but then we still have to move around Bahtbart in order to get the mana crystal. So we're going to make sure we trigger Accurice first. And we're going to move Formation 4. And then we're going to break it, of course. We don't need Mind that much. Although Mind is nice. And we're going to have a really, really long story here. So I'm going to go get some water. This is part of the reason why this mission is going to take as long as it does.
ぞか。見てくれ。ここにいるのは全員僕の進化と言ってもいい連中さ。みんなが僕の支配を望んでいるんだよ。僕にはそれだけの力があったんだ。だから僕は選ばれた。この誓いを持って戦う戦士としてね。だからね、僕は正しい行いをしなくちゃならない。くだらない奴らに騙されてる香りの目を覚まさせることは僕にとって正しいことなんだ。僕はこっちの世界に来てから自分が正しいと思うことをやった。その結果、こんなにみんなが僕のことを必要としてる。これはすごいことだと思わないか。今の僕には力も権力もある。正しいことを当たり前にやっている僕だからみんなに必要とされているんだよ。
Sorry. Oh wait, no, it is on auto. Okay. Whew. Okay, I've already read this. I'm gonna go like floss my teeth.
みんなに必要とされていないんだよ。ね、香織。あいつらは正しくなかったんだよ。だからこそ親友同士で殺し合ったりして、挙句の果てには半分死ななきゃならなかったんだ。バカバカしすぎて笑っちゃうよ。あいつのことなんか忘れない。僕が幸せにしてやる。僕には力がある。ここでも元の世界で力、金、権力、すべてだ。すべてがあるんだ。あいつ、僕に勝っているものは何一つない。僕とあいつが戦えばすぐわかることさ。誓いの僕に力をくれるんだ。あいつが持っている剣なんかよりもずっと強くてずっと頼もしい。これこそ僕にふさわしいものだ。何がだよ。何でも言っていいんだ。僕ならば香りの好きなことを何でも叶えられるんだから。じゃあわからない。ほら、言ってくれ。
違う。お兄ちゃんとあなたは違う。
当然だよ。間違いなく僕の方が優れてるさ。あいつとは違う。
そうじゃない。そういう意味じゃないの。
どうしたんだ。何を言ってるんだ、香織。
お兄ちゃんはあなたにないものを持っている。それはとても大事で絶対に必要なもの。他人を思いやって他人のために悩んで他人のために傷つくことができる。あなたにそれができるの？
僕は優れている。優れた人間は他人なんか必要としない。 他人なんかいらないんだ。僕があいつより能力があるっていう証拠なんだよ。
そんなの関係ない。どれだけ能力があっても私は秋月先輩よりお兄ちゃんがいい。
黙れ。嘘だろ香織。冗談だよな。僕よりあいつがいい。そんなはずがない。あるわけないんだ。優れたものにこそ人は惹かれる。そうだろ香織。違うのかい？だから優れている僕の方に香織は惹かれなきゃいけないはずなんだ。なのにどうして香織はまだ目を覚ましてくれないんだよ。なんであいつの方がいいなんて言うんだよ。
お兄ちゃん、あなたになんか負けない。負けないんだから。
なんだと。ごめんね香織。苦しいかい？でもね、僕のせいじゃないんだよ。香織が当たり前のことを認めないからこんなことになっちゃうんだよ。ね？苦しいだろう。苦しいなら認めてくれ。僕の方があいつより素晴らしいと。
認めない。
認めるんだ。そうだったんだ。あいつがいる限りまた香織はおかしくなってしまう。そりゃそうだよな。あいつがいるからいけない。近い。あいつあの剣を消滅させればいいんだ。そうすれば香織も分かってくれる。目を覚ましてくれる。香織、僕があいつからお前をここにさえすれば絶対に安全だ。香織を守れるのは僕だ。全部誓いの言う通りにするだけでいいんだ。力も権力も誓いの言う通りにするだけで簡単に手に入ったじゃないか。今までの順調すぎることだが、香織がそんな簡単に手に入るなんて思っていたものを間違っていた。香織を手に入れるためにあいつを殺さない。あの剣を壊さない。そうだ。あいつとあの剣が僕を邪魔してるんだ。くっそ。剣は一つじゃなきゃならないのに。
秋月先輩、あの光は。
そうだ。あいつを殺さない。剣も壊そう。全部きれいにして消してしまえば香りも救われる。 香織。
秋月先輩。
ごめん香織、一番簡単な方法を忘れてたよ。ああ、どうして最初にこれをやらなかったんだろう。そうすればもっと早く香織に分かってもらえたのに。さあ行こう。
秋月先輩。
ほら急ごうよ。僕はグズグズしてるのは嫌いなんだ。どけ！お前たちなんか呼んでないんだよ。言われた時だけ来ればいいんだ。存在する価値のない虫けらの分際で僕にはやらなきゃならない大切なことがあるのに、僕は香織の目の前であいつを求めを殺さなきゃならないんだから。そうしなきゃいつまでも香織が騙されたままになっちゃうんだ。それは良くない。おい、そこのお前、エーテルジャンプを起動させろ。聞こえなかったのか？今すぐ求めのところに僕たちを送れと言ってるんだ。さっさとしろ。僕はグズが嫌いだって言っただろう。もうすぐ、もうすぐだよ。あいつを殺す。そこが僕たちのスタートになるんだ。行こう香織。僕は香織のためにもあいつに勝つ。遅かった。もっと早く来るものと思っていたのにさ、待ちくたびれちゃったよ。
お兄ちゃん。
何かしているのはそっちだろう。香りが怯えるのもわかる。随分といい表情をしているじゃないか。少し見直したよ、言うと。香りはちゃんと気づいてるじゃないか。お前が恐ろしい殺戮者だってことにさ。へえ、よく 私利私欲のためにスピリットを殺し回ってるやつね。所詮お前も偽善者なんだよ。あのレスティーナとかいう女王気取りのバカ女と同じだ。大義名分を掲げて、その陰では何をしている？世界のための戦いと言いつつ、スピリットを使って侵略と破壊を繰り返しているだけじゃないか。お前も同じだ。香りのために何匹ものスピリットを殺して力を手に入れたんだろ。そしてその力で僕を殺そうとしている。自分のために、香りを手に入れるために、お前はたくさんのものを踏みにじってきたんだ。当たり前だ。ずっとずっと僕の香りを騙し続けた男が、自分でそう思っているやつが一番たちが思った。お前は最悪の人間だ。だがそれももう終わりだ。お前の化けの皮は剥がした。あとは香りの目を覚ましてやるだけだ。随分と口は達者になったじゃないか。だが力もないくせに正義だ未来だ言うことだけは言う。僕はそういう種類の弱者が特に嫌いなんだ。その中でもお前は一番目障りなんだよ。僕は手に入れる。欲しいものを全部。僕と香りだけのためにこの世界を作り変えるんだ。お前なんか僕の足元であがいてろ。
もうお前の好きにはさせない。今ここで決着をつけてやる。
はっ、弱い犬はさすがによく吠える。
覚悟はできてるだろうな、シュン。
今度はこっちから行くぞ。ほら、無様に逃げ回ってみろよ。
まだだ。
He has such a stupid attack animation.
その程度か。本気を出すまでも相手にならないよお前なんか。なのになぜいつも僕の邪魔をする。貴様のような奴がいるから香りだって迷惑する。こんな風に僕は無駄なことをするのが嫌いなんだよ。今のお前を殺しにわざわざやってきたっていうんじゃあまりにもバカらしい。だから僕はお前に本気を出させてやろうと思った。なってるんだよ。今、香りはゆっくりし僕の香りの周りの空気を少しずつ消している。 めさせたきゃ本気を出せよ。僕を殺すために全力で来る。そうすれば無駄じゃない。お前が僕を殺せば香りは助かる。僕がお前を殺しても香りは助かる。ほら、どっちにしろ香りは助かるし、どっちにしろ決着はつくんだ。一番いい方法がこれなんだよ。大切な香りをこんな目に合わせたお前を僕は殺す。殺してやる。殺して香りを助ける。そうしないと僕の大切な香りが死んじゃうんだ。貴様のせいでな。死ねー。死ね死ねよお前。香りの前で惨めったらしく死んでしまえ。
全身に力を感じる。これなら旬だって。
求めともども
砕け散れ。死ぬのは俺じゃない、貴様と誓いだ。
こんな言うとごときが。僕によかった。香りも僕も死んじゃいけない。二人とも助かるにはこの方法が一番だった。やっぱり僕は正しかった。見なよ香り、この間抜けな姿を。やっぱり僕の方が上、お前が下だったんだ。 香りは正しかったんだよ。剣に飲み込まれて化け物になりかけたこいつなんかについていかなくてさ。さあ、とどめを刺さないと。これ以上香りをたぶらかせないようにね。
秋月先輩、やめてください。殺さないでください。私、何でもします。お兄ちゃんのそばに戻らない。ずっと秋月先輩のそばにいますから。
本当かい？香り、とうとう分かってくれたんだね。香りが目を覚ましてくれたなら、こんなやつわざわざ殺す必要ないよ。無駄だし、第一僕が手を下す価値がない。帰ったら部隊を送り込んでこの辺りを焼き払わせよう。そうだ、それがいい。よかった。これで香りも元通りになってくれた。やっぱり僕の方が正しかったんじゃないか。さあ、一緒に帰ろう、香り。おっと、じゃあな、ユウト。もう聞こえてないかな。お前はここで惨めったらしく死んでいけ。力ある者の望みは叶えられ、力のない者は死んでいく。いいよね、シンプルです。
気がつきましたか？寝苦しそうでしたのでタオルをかぶせておきました。目元を冷やせば楽になると聞いたことがありましたから。手が空いている者がいないのです。看病するのならあなたを恐れないものが必要ですから。私は詳しいことを聞いていません。知っているのはアセリアのあなたを見つけ城にエーテルジャンプさせたことくらい。死にかけていたとのことですよ。最初の時といい、あなたとアセリアには不思議な縁があるのですね。ユートが運ばれてからならまだ1日も経っていません。傷は浅くありません。無理をしないように。ならばなおのこと、今無理をすればその目的も叶わなくなります。今はおとなしく休みなさい。サーギオスのエトランジェと戦ったのですね。わかります。今のユートをこのようにできる存在は限られていますから。香りを？ きなさいユウト。あなたの今回の行動は役を違えています。焦り一人で突き進んで得るものはありましたか？あなたの目的は香りを救うことですが、私たちはサーギオス打倒のために手を結んでいるのですよ。このようにあなたの力を使えなくなるのは困ります。ユウト、落ち着きなさいと言っています。悔やんでも意味はありません。だから私たちの力を利用しなければいけなかったんです。一人で抱え込みすぎないように、私たちがそうであるように、あなたもパートナーを利用していいんですから。ユウト、あなたは同じ方向を向いている私たちの仲間です。それだけは忘れないで。完全に治るまで無理をしてはいけませんよ。でも誰もいないでしょ。今はエトランジェの穴を埋めるためにこの館のスピリットは全員出払っているのですから。では本当に体を休めておくのですよ。
許さん。力を、誓いを砕く力を。
ユウト、入りますよ。思ったより平気そうですね。ユウトは少しくらい物事を考えた方がいいでしょう。気のせいでしょう。冗談はさておき、考え方が偏っているのは確かです。香りのことは大事でしょうが、エスペリアたちがどれほど心配したかわかりますか？後できちんと謝っておくのですよ。食事を抜かれても知りませんからね。自業自得です。無理はしないように。助けがいるならそう言いなさい。怪我人でいる間ならば許します。そういえば余計なことを考えたとか言っていましたね。どういったことでしたか？せっかくここまで来たのですから、何か面白い話を聞かせてくれても罰は当たらないでしょ。違和感って ですか？誰かとは、それに何のために？なんとなくと聞きましたが。それは。考えすぎでしょう。体が弱っているからそのようなことを考えるのではないですか？それに、たとえ仕組まれていたとしても、私たちは戦うしかありません。理想の明日のために。それが私の選んだ道です。ユウト？
誓いを滅ぼせ。そのための力を。
ユウト、大丈夫ですか？まさか求めの干渉？誰かを呼んだ方がいいですか？耐えなさい。香りを助けるのでしょう。
This all this is really all this does is determines who gets the. I don't even think it's a better promotion. It's like the quote unquote true promotion. It's a choice between Shia and Nelly. Um, I think Shia is a little bit more useful, so I picked her. You can pick whoever you'd like.
てほしいの。オルファみたいに。ユート様の手、大きくて気持ちいい。あ、オルファの言う通り。
もうすぐラキオスの連中がここに攻めてくる。だが向かってきても無駄だ。サーギオスには僕がいる。スピリットがどれだけ来ようと全て返り討ちにしてやる。香りは僕にとって女神だ。その香りが近くにいてくれる限り僕に敗北などありはしない。それであいつらはどこにいる？
まだここまでたどり着いておりません。
だろうな。全く弱すぎる。それとも上にいたのがよっぽどの無能なのか。
ここに至る前に全滅するのでありませんか。
だったらそれで弱い奴らの相手をしても面白くはない。その時はここで笑っていればいいさ。でもつまらないな。香り、これが実力だ。やっぱりあいつなんてどうしようもないだろう。力を得るのは僕のような人間なんだ。あいつには結局何一つ残りはしないのさ。ああれだけの気、あいつは長くは持たないだろう。必死になって醜くもがき苦しみ、這いつくばったり消える。よかったな、香り。ようやく悪魔がいなくなったんだ。もう僕たちを脅かすようなものはこの世界には一つもないのさ。さて、強いと聞いてたのにラキオスのやつらはまだなのかな。
Oh my goodness. Finally. Alright. Turn 10. Only thing we have left to do should be to train Himika here. I was able to do almost a full run of Uma Musume in that cutscene. Believe it or not. Same thing here. Let me speed through this. This isn't really that interesting. And we learn Inferno here, which we're going to replace Firebolt with. It's just a strict upgrade to Firebolt here. Okay. Turn 11. We're going to Ether Jump both of these guys. Torakios. Since we've done everything that we needed to do there. We're going to demolish these ether jump clients to get that mana back. And we're going to start moving out. Now, we could have built a training center here in Telesaurus last turn, but we actually want to take Zagios sooner rather than later. So even though we're not going to be here on time, we're still going to try and act aggressively here so that we can get to Zagios as soon as possible. It is possible we could have played this somehow where we got to Zagios much sooner, but I felt like the strategy that I had worked well enough that I didn't need to go through and iterate on it. But in theory, we could get to Zagios sooner by prioritizing the western path, at which point we would be able to get more training done. But again, you'll see, we end up in a good place. I'm not super worried about it. That cat's attacking me. Alright, we're already at 1 hour and 20 minutes. My cat here wants to see what's going on. We're already at 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to start skipping through these so we're not just here all day. I did something a little interesting here. But like I said, the blue spirits can actually tank red spirits and some of the green spirits not without too much difficulty. So we're going to start trying to capitalize on that. Okay. Turn 12. We're going to ether jump formation 1 back to whatever this is. We're going to train. No. How did this happen? Oh, I sure wrote the wrong thing, didn't I? Shoot. Alright, sorry. Let me redo this real quick. The one turn that I don't have a save for. I wrote to send F1 to l'URL, but we actually want to keep F1 in Regios so that we can train them. Okay. We're gonna move southwest. We're going to attack with formation 2 here. Just doing the same thing that I did last time. Just gonna skip through this. That was a typo in the guide. And I'm going to actually do... You know what? Let me just follow the guide. No need to get crazy. No need to get creative. I know that the strategy works. I don't need to second guess things. Alright, turn 12. We're going to ether jump. Formation 4. And we're going to train Nanadu. So what's happening here is that we need to have a formation that walks all the way down here, walks up here, and then walks back. We also need to have a formation that can ether jump from here all the way down to here. In order for that to happen, we need to do this. We need to wait 3 turns. Basically, if you do the math, with the amount of turns that you wait, it ends up being worth it to keep a formation in Rakios waiting for the Sade Sunil tile to open up for Ether Jump. And then they can just jump in, they get a ton of turns of training, and they can just jump straight in and take care of business. That's how it worked out for me, at least. And then F2, explode, and we're going to do Ether Sync 1 here. I don't know if it makes much of a difference, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, look at that, it sure does. Like I said, I'm going to skip through this, so we're not just sitting here waiting for quite as long. Alright, we're going to train Nanadu again. We're going to move both of these guys southwest, and then we're going to continue to attack with these guys. Ice Banisher 3, Shrouded Sword 2 to deal with the Red Spirit. And then we're going to defend like this. Ether Sync 1 for more damage. Okay, turn 14. F3 is going to attack. Crucially, we need to make sure that we're using Ice Vanisher 4 for this, because this is an upgraded version of Ether Sync. It's Ether Sync 3. Accurate Block 7, Triple Swing 2. And now that we've done this, we unlock the first trainer event.
もう50年ほど前から若々しい10代の姿のままで剣を振るっている方とか。
I wonder if they she's an Eternal.
今はイノヤソキマの村に滞在しているそうです。
I wonder if that's the implication.
お会いして協力を仰いでみると良いかもしれません。
Alright. We're going to Ether Jump, Formation 1 from Rakios to Inoyasokomiya. We're going to enter and exit the formation screen, which is going to trigger the event.
ユート様、どうやらミュラー様はこの地をすでに離れているようです。村の方々のお話ですと、帝国の協力要請を断ったため、手がかりはありません。牽制と呼ばれている方だけにとても残念です。
It is a great shame. Move F4, and we're going to attack with F2. We're going to do the same thing that we were doing previously. Shrouded Sword 2 plus Passion. Should kill this Green Spirit. Oh, almost. Alright, we're going to defend with Aselia, Yuto Utica, Heaven Sword 2, Dark Impact. Turn 15. We're going to Ether Jump F1 to back to Rakios. And we're going to demolish this Ether Jump client. We no longer need to go back there. We're going to attack with F2. Not that this matters, it's got 1 HP. And we're going to move Formation 3 and Formation 4. I don't know what this is referring to.
司会のシュン率いる皇帝養成騎士団です。それぞれがエトランジェ級の能力を持つ最強の部隊と言われていますが、
I don't know where these guys are. I have never seen them.
帝国首都周辺は迎撃に向いている土地が多く、これまでで最も厳しい戦いになるでしょう。ですが、香織様
I wonder if this is supposed to trigger in the next mission.
ユウト様、私たちも全力で戦います。
Because this doesn't make sense
帝
here.
国を打倒し、この戦乱を終わらせましょう。
Either way. Move formation 4. We're going to defend here. Yuto, Utica, Aselia. Ice Banisher 3. Explode to kill this blue spirit. And then we're going to switch to Shrouded Utica, Shrouded Sword 2, keeping Ice Banisher 3 for the Flame Laser. And then, same thing here. We're going to keep Ice Banisher 3 so that this green spirit doesn't heal. Okay. Turn 16. We're gonna continue moving these guys. We're going to train Nanadu, since we're just gonna sit here and wait. I'm gonna go ahead and demolish this. I don't know why I made it. And then I'm going to attack with Formation 2 here. Utica, Yuto, Aselia, Arc Flare. Just trying to kill this red spirit here. And then we're going to defend Yuto, Utica, Aselia. So, I apologize, I just skipped through that. Basically, 3 turns after you trigger the first event in Ino-Yasokima, you learn that the trainer has been in this cave. That's basically what Asperia was saying there. I was skipping through it, so we didn't get to read it, but that's what she said. Part of the reason why I've chosen to have Formation 4 moving along with Formation 3 and keeping Formation 1 in Rekios is that I want Formation 4 to go up and get the trainer. And so this is, I think, 12 turns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 turns out of the way, which is far greater than just waiting for an Ether Jump client. So Formation 4 is going to be our sacrificial lamb here a little bit. We could use Formation 3, but I really want Formation 3 to be fighting, so, that is why we're doing things the way that we're doing things here. We're just going to keep moving on. We're going to attack with Formation 2 again. We're going to do Heaven Sword plus Passion, which should kill this blue spirit without any issues. And we're going to train Nanadu again. We really want Nanadu to get to level 20, because that's when she unlocks her next skill. Right now she only has 1 skill, so having access to another skill would be pretty beneficial. We're going to defend here with Aselia and Yuto. I don't know that this matters, but we're going to do lower resist just for funsies. Alright, turn 18. We're going to attack with Formation 2, which is going to be Yuto, Utica, Aselia. We're going to use Ether Sync 1 here, just in case we need it, but we shouldn't, because Explode does plenty of damage. And we're going to attack with formation 3. It's the exact same setup that we had for the previous fight.
敵部隊を確認。 拠点を
And a bunch of enemies spawn in.
ユート様、サレスニルを制圧しました。帝国民はラキオスの選挙に反発的です。帝国支配の方がラキオスの制圧下よりも帝国民にとって楽なのは間違いありません。レスティーナ女王陛下は帝国支配下だった拠点には正規軍を送り込むようです。秩序の壁へのエーテル供給の一つを止めました。
And the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to build a training facility. Because similar to what we did in the first part of this mission, we're going to let these enemies come to us and we're going to train up our units so that they're a little bit more combat capable. We're going to move formation 4. And we're going to train Nanadu again.
両難の一つ日々前進です。クラスが上がりました。新たな技を習得しました。
And we get Arc Flare, which is almost twice as much damage as Flame Shower. We're going to overwrite Lightning Fire because it has fewer charges than Firebolt. So, as much as that makes a difference, it does matter, a little bit, at least. And we're going to immediately, now that the training facility is done, we're going to build an Ether Jump client. Nope, not an Ether Converter, an Ether Jump client with Yotia. See, we got the laboratory in Bahtbart, so this is only taking 5 turns instead of 6 turns now. We're going to move formation 4. We're going to move formation 2. We're not going to make it to Zagios before the reinforcements do, unfortunately, but by killing all of these enemies now, we do have more forward momentum, so we will still get here sooner than if we had waited. And you'll see, we still get plenty of time to train, so it's not a big deal. We're going to train Nymthor, because she's a green spirit, she needs to be able to take hits. And we're going to start training Nelly. Now, Nelly is not level 20 yet, but I am going to continue to train Nelly because I want her to get a better attack. And I felt like surely she would have something coming up the pipe eventually. And she does, it turns out. We're going to do Fury and we're going to do Lightning Fire here. We're trying very specifically not to use Inferno too much because Inferno absolutely tanks Himika's Mind stat. And while we're not super worried about Mind, we don't want to just lose Mind for no reason either. And this still accomplishes the same thing. It allows us to kill 2 units in 1 round of combat, so it works out about the same. Revive is really cool. It's going to come in handy for one of the very end formations that we have to fight. But a get out of jail free card like this is always very valuable. And Nelly promotes to a new class. Like I said, I want Nelly to learn a new attack, so I'm going to keep training her up. Leap Attack 1 is just really not pulling its weight right now, so I want to see what her next... I felt like she surely had a new attack coming, and I was correct, but it was an educated guess. Formation 2 moves south. Formation 4 is going to move up to the cave to trigger the trainer. And don't worry, Formation 4 will get plenty of time to train as well. And we're going to use Fireball here. Just in case we need the extra damage. I don't think that we do, but just in case. Nymthor gets a really good attack. That's also going to come in handy. So we're on turn 21. We're going to keep training Nelly and Nimthor until they get the skills that I want them to get. We're going to continue moving Formation 2 south, and we're going to continue moving Formation 4 northwest. We're going to defend here with the same stuff. Same shit, different day. Fury, Lightning, Fire 1. It's basically essentially the exact same formation that we just defeated, so the same strategy will work. And Formation 2, Yuto, Utica, Aselia. We're going to use Ice Vanisher 3. Explode for the Heaven Sword enemy. And we're going to do the same, kind of the same thing, but we're going to use Yuto this time. We're going to use Heaven Sword 2, and we're going to use Dark Impact here to do some chip damage on the Green Spirit. Because this enemy is attacking, they do Harvest before they take damage, so I'm not worried about trying to neutralize the Green Spirit just yet. Water Shield. Again, she's got a 300 potency defense, so that's pretty good. And Nimthor gets accurate block 8. So, you know, the faithful are rewarded, right? We get a bonus 150 potency to our defense in addition to a bunch of extra HP. So we are now much more comfortable when it comes to taking Heaven Sword attacks, right? That's basically what this comes down to, what this boils down to. We also get Revive, which is important. Turn 2. We're still waiting on this Ether Jump client, but we can demolish the Ether Jump client down here. We're going to train Nelly. And now that we got a great new defensive ability for Nimthor, we're going to start training Aselia instead. Continue moving Formation 4. And we're going to attack with Formation 2, using Celia, Utica, and Yuto. I'm going to use Passion here to make sure that we kill this Green Spirit, and because Yuto is a Net Ranger, this Ice Vanisher does not affect him. Alright. So this Heaven Sword enemy is going to attack us, so we're just in time. Immediately need to make sure that this... we needed this extra block in order to make sure that Nimthor could survive. Otherwise, she could not take 2 attacks from this enemy. We're going to do Triple Swing 2, Ice Vanisher 4, the usual here. I'm going to keep skipping through this, otherwise this video is already going to be 2 hours. I don't want it to be 3 hours. We're going to defend with F2 here. We're going to defend with Yuto, Celia, and Utica. We're going to use Explode and Dark Impact. We're going to block here with Yuto and Utica. Shrouded Sword 2 with Ice Vanisher 3 prevents this Red Soldier from doing anything to us. And there's no attacker, so we don't have to worry about our defender being hit. And we're just going to maintain this again. We're going to use Ice Vanisher 3 here in order to prevent this unit from healing, so that we can, I think, hopefully kill them this round. Yep. Alright. And here we are. So we get to replace Leap Attack 1 with Heaven Sword 1. Heaven Sword 1 is a 1000 potency, I think, magic attack. Hard to tell. That attacks twice per round of combat. This is our, I think, equal to Explode is our strongest damage-dealing ability at this point in the game, as far as attackers. So, those extra 3 levels on Nelly, we had to put those 3 levels on somebody because we're just waiting for the Ether Jump client to finish. Really makes a big difference here. Turn 23. We're going to continue to train Aselia and Asperia now. We want Aselia to get more attacks, and we want Asperia to get more HP and more defenses. We're going to move Formation 4 northwest, and we're going to continue to attack with Formation 2. We're using Utica, Celia, and Yuto here. We'll be able to neutralize this attacker before they have the chance to attack Celia, and Celia can take the hit anyway, because she has a 300 potency defense. Oh, I was supposed to use FMS1. Oh well. We'll do that next time. Don't need to think too hard about this one. And don't need to think too hard about this one. And I'm just going to go ahead and use Full Moon Sword here to finish this enemy off. We just changed the guide here. I did this backwards, but that's alright. And then we're going to defend with let me see, do we use yeah, we can do this. But we do need to save our last charges of Shrouded Sword 2. Oh, no, never mind. We used them already. Oops. Oh well. We'll keep Full Moon Sword up. You know what? I'm going to redo that. Just to be safe. Just to be safe, I'm going to redo that. That should be 1219. Yes. 1219, turn 23. Okay, sorry. I'm going to redo that just to be safe. I don't think that it matters, but I don't want to end up in a situation where I have to redo multiple turns because I've got impatient. Train Aselia, train Asperia. We're going to attack with Formation 2, and we're going to use Full Moon Sword. Full Moon Sword plus Passion. We're going to just do the same thing. We're just going to go through this here. Like I said, don't need to think too hard about this. And for this, we're going to equip Frenzy and Ether Sync 1. Doesn't quite work, but either way. Okay. Finally, the Ether Jump client is ready to go. We're going to replace Heaven Sword 1 with Heaven Sword 2, obviously. And we're going to replace Power Strike 1 with Lightning Strike 2, since that's our lowest potency attack. Alright, we're on turn 24. We're going to ether jump from formation 1 to Sade Sunil. We're going to move formation 4 northeast. We're going to train Himika. I have to trust the process. And we're going to attack with formation 2 here. We're going to do Impulse Blow 2. And we're going to do Dark Impact to finish off this Blue Spirit. And for this, we're going to defend with Utica again, using Full Moon Sword. So it worked out, didn't it? We get an improved Mind Shield, so we're just going to replace Mind Shield 2. We are now on turn 25. We're going to move formation 4 northwest to get the trainer.
ユータ様、朗報です。未来土遺跡にてミュラー様と接触できました。ミュラー様も戦争が続き、大マナ消失が起きることを警戒しておられました。ダスカトロン大砂漠を誕生させたマナ消失事件、イースペリアの暴走、次は取り返しのつかないものになると。高マナを利用したエーテル技術の放棄というレスティーナ女王陛下の政策に賛同してくださいました。牽制の技をご享受してくださることになりました。最高の訓練士としてラキオスの戦列に加わってくださいました。最高レベルまで成長が可能になりました。帝国との最後の戦いに備え戦力を補強しましょう。
Okay. F1, we attack. Now that we're back in the swing of things here, we're going to use Arc Flare, and we're going to use Leap Attack 2 with Accurate Block 5. And then we're going to attack with Formation 3 here. And we're going to attack with Formation 2. We're going to equip Shredded Sword 2 here to finish off this green, this Blue Spirit. Just barely finish off the Blue Spirit too. We're going to defend with Formation 3. Don't need to get too complicated about it. We're just going to use Fireball and Fury. I don't think we even need Fireball, but, you know, whatever. Okay, turn 26. We're going to immediately start moving Formation 4 southeast to catch up with the rest of stuff, and then we're going to attack with Formation 2 to take Zakios. We're going to use Aselia with Impulse Blow, plus Yuto, plus Utica, to do a bunch of damage here. Dark Spring here is a little bit concerning, which is why we're using Yuto instead of Utica to take this hit. But they can only use it once. And then for follow-up, we're going to use Yuto to buff this final blow of Impulse Blow, which should kill. Oh, no, I was supposed to use Fury there, sorry. Oh, I guess it didn't matter. Okay.
ユート様、ゼギオスを制圧しました。制圧と同時に秩序の壁へのエーテル供給を止めました。帝国民はレスティーナ女王陛下の国策である高マナカに対して反対しています。ラキオス正規軍が介入し、一時的な混乱を収めるようですが、しばらくはラキオスに対して反発が予想されます。今までの生活をしている決断はやはり難しいのですね。目の前で命が失われないとわからないのでしょうか。
And then, similar to Sade Sunil, we're going to build a training center here first. So that we'll build an Ether Jump client after that. We're going to attack with Formation 3 first this time. to prevent us from taking this flame laser hit.
敵
And then we're going to attack with formation 2. We're going to use impulse blow 2, accurate block 6, our fancy new accurate block, and we're going to use arc flare to hopefully clean up this formation
敵
here.
部隊を確認しました攻撃を仕掛けます敵敵だ
Yep, just like that.
建設が終了しました
Now we're almost home free, right? Nah. You wish. Okay. We're going to start building an ether jump facility here. We're going to have to do a little bit of a switcheroo here, which is going to be kind of interesting, but you'll see what I mean. And then we're going to start moving formation 3. We're going to start moving formation 4, and we're going to start training formation 2. They've sort of haven't had as much opportunity to train just yet. So we're going to start doing that now while we're waiting for the ether jump client to finish. That's one of the big advantages of building ether jump clients, is that it gives you like 6 turns to train instead of 6 turns of movement. So it's somewhat efficient, I guess, would be the way to describe that.
訓練メニューを消化しましたクラスが上がりました新たな技を習得しました
We're going to replace Bloodlust here with Chaos Impact. We can't use Bloodlust, and Chaos Impact just gives us more things to do as a supporter, which is nice. We're going to attack with Formation 1 here. We're going to use our charge of Heavensward 1, and we're going to use Flame Shower. This enemy is very dangerous because we don't really have the ability to block Apocalypse consistently. At least not with this team. We'd have to wait another turn if we wanted to. But with Heavensward 1, we can just kill it before they have the chance to attack us.
攻撃を仕掛けますみんな気をつけて
We're going to use Formation 3. And we're going to move Formation 4. And we're going to train Utica again. Now we see a pretty interesting deviation in AI here. They're actually retreating to Yusoka, which is the first time I think that I've seen enemy formations retreat, which is kind of interesting. Turn 29, obviously continue moving Formation 4. We're going to start training Yuto now. He gets stronger. And we're going to attack with Formation 3. I have this backwards. It's A and H. And we're going to use Impulse Blow 2. And we're going to use Inferno to kill this enemy. Now we're into another little bit of a gauntlet here, so we're trying to conserve our ability usages as much as possible at this point. It did take me a little bit of finagling to figure this one out, so... So we don't have the Mind for Explode 2, but it is still stronger than Heavy Attack 2, so we're going to replace it. Explode 2 does about 650 damage 8 times. Heavy Attack 2 did 400 and something damage 6 times, so it's still an improvement. We're on turn 30. We're going to continue moving Formation 1 and Formation 3 south. We're going to continue moving Formation 4 back to Sade Sunil, and we're going to train Utica again. I'm gonna go ahead and replace this counterattack. Activates 3 times, so there's some niche use there, whereas this one only activates twice. So I'm actually going to replace counterattack 7 rather than counterattack 6. It's kind of a weird problem to have, but I promise it makes sense. But it does look a little weird to have counterattack 5, counterattack 6, and then counterattack 8. We're going to continue moving these guys south. We're going to continue moving formation 4 south. And we are going to demolish these, if you haven't already, since I now know truly that I don't need them. And then I'm going to train Yuto again. There is no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just sort of trying to train the units that I think need to be trained at this point. We're going to defend with F3 here, which is going to be Aselia, Nymthor, and Himika. We're going to use Impulse Blow 2, Accurate Block 6, instead of Accurate Block 8, because this enemy doesn't do that much damage, and we're going to use Inferno here as well. Since this attacker is a green spirit, this Inferno is going to do a lot of damage. Of course, the blue spirit doesn't help, but we just did 4,200 damage in one Inferno cast, so, you know. Not nothing. Leap Attack 2. Accurate Block 4. And Flame Shower. And same thing here. We're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to use Lightning Strike 1 here. This enemy doesn't do that much damage, so we can actually use Nelly here to block with Water Shield 6, right? She's blocking for 300 2 times. He's attacking for 400 2 times. And then we're going to use Flame Shower. And this way we get to conserve Asteria's block charges and get to conserve Nelly's attack charges. Right? She took that very well. Very comfortably. Okay. And we're not going to learn Elemental. So what Elemental does is it buffs mana type. The reason why I'm not sure that this is super useful is because it seems kind of inconsistent which elemental attacks care about, like, defense versus resistance, stuff like that. Also, if I'm using this, in order to use this, Yuto has to be a supporter, right? Which means that there's very few characters that can use an elemental attack from the attacking role. So I just don't think that this is super useful. I'm going to keep Concentration Resist because that buffs defense and resistance. I think, to me, that's a little bit more valuable. Maybe I'm out of my gourd, but for me, that was the decision that I made. So we're going to immediately Ether Jump. Oops, that was the wrong button. We're going to Ether Jump. Formation 2 to Rapios. And we're going to move Formation 4 down to Saude Sunil. We're going to attack with Formation 3 here. We're going to be using Triple Swing plus Ice Vanisher 3 to chew through this formation a little bit. Still on Accurate Block 4, I believe. Accurate Block 6, I would say. And we're going to attack with Formation 1. Now this time, we're actually going to use Nadadu to block. Even though she's not a great blocker, she lost a bunch of HP when she promoted. But that's alright, because she can still survive this. She's going to use Lightning Strike for Asperia, and we're going to use Spanisher 3 for Nelly. Again, we're just trying to conserve our charges here. We're going to defend with F1. Leap Attack 2. Flame Shower. Accurate Block 4. And we're going to defend with Nelly again. We're going to use Lightning Strike 2 this time. And we're going to use Arc Flare. Now, we need to make sure that I save a charge of Arc Flare, because there's one enemy in particular that I need this for a damage check. But we can use the second charge here and still have one left over. So that's what we're doing here, to sort of nuke these enemies. On one hand, I think it would be beneficial to show sort of like my actual research for some of these strategies, because you're kind of just having to take my word for it, but all I can do is just ask you to trust me. I have done a lot of testing. I've been playing this game for a very long time at this point. We're going to Ether Jump. Formation 2, to Sade Sunil. We're going to Ether Jump. Formation 4, to Rakios. And we're going to demolish this Ether Jump client and this training facility so that we don't make any mistakes. We're going to attack with Formation 3 here. We're going to use Himika with... it doesn't really matter what we use for here. We're just going to use Himika with Triple Swing. We really needed Triple Swing 2 there to chew through that defender. I did try it with Double Swing and Swing. And we're going to attack with F1. We're going to use Nelly with Impulse Blow 2. And we're going, since we have Asperia in the defender position, we're going to use Earth Prayer to get some healing off. She'll heal Nanadu, unfortunately, but healing is healing. It's better than doing nothing, in my opinion. An Impulse Blow, I think, will be enough to kill this enemy, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah. I wish Harvest activated twice. It would be really useful in certain situations. We're going to do something a little bit strange here. We're going to Sandbag in order to get our health back up. So we're going to use Nanadu to attack, Nelly to block, and Asperia to heal. We're really just using this to heal our formation here, because we do want Asperia to have higher HP. Otherwise, the rest of this becomes a little bit more complicated. Alright. Turn 34. Remember, we have 40 turns to do this, so we're getting close to the wire here. Turn 34, we're going to move Formation 2 east. Formation 2 is really not going to have the opportunity to help take Yusoka, or Yusoka, but we start the next mission immediately the way we end this mission. So we still want Formation 2 to be as close as possible so that they can contribute in the next mission. We're going to Ether Jump from Rakios to Zagios, and we're going to demolish not the training facility, the Ether Jump client. I got to be careful there because I have demolished the wrong thing before. And so now, Formation 4 is exactly where we want them to be. We have a training facility. We've got, it looks like, probably 5 turns to train them. We want them to be here because when we go through the next mission, we're going to take the Sargios capital through the northern path rather than through the southern path, because it's just a shorter path, right? And there's fewer enemies. So Formation 4 is going to be the formation that does that. So we're going to keep them in Zagios so they can train, so that for the next mission, they're ready to go. And if you can look at this, Hallion needs another level to get to 19. Orpha needs several levels to get to 20. Sorry, not 19, 20. And if I can, I'd like to continue training Hallion so that she can be a better defender. Formation 2 has kind of already gotten quite a few resources here, so they're going to spend the rest of the mission just sort of catching up. I could keep them here in Segios, the same way that I could, you know, change the way that I did the first couple of turns of this mission in order to get to Segios faster. But again, the strategy works, and it gets my units to a place where they are strong enough to do what I need them to do in the next mission, which is very much a stat check. So, the current strategy works, and the very last mission of the game, or the last two missions of the game, have no time limit. So we can take as much time as we want to train our characters. And we can even actually, if we want to, move to Rakios, retreat everybody out of the formation, and then train every character every single turn. Which is a little extreme, but it's an option that we have. We're going to continue moving Formation 2. We're going to attack with Formation 3 here. We're going to use Fury. And we're going to use Inferno to finish off these groups of enemies. It's maybe a little bit overkill, but I've already calculated the attacks that I need, and this is guaranteed at this point. Alright, turn 35. We're going to train Orpha, because she has the most to go to get to level 20. We're going to start moving Formation 2 to catch up. We're going to swap Aselia with Nelly, or Nelly with Aselia, however you want to look at it. We're going to attack with Formation 3, which is going to be Nymthor, Nelly, Himika. And we're going to be using Lightning Strike here. Lightning Strike does a deceptive amount of damage, just so you're aware. It's actually quite strong. It actually makes me wonder if Nymthor might not be a good all-rounder as well, because she has the ability to heal using Wind Whisper, and she has a really powerful attack. And then we're going to attack with Formation 1. We're going to use... this is where the Arc Flare becomes necessary, right? Because we're attacking here, we have the opportunity to kill this opponent before they have the chance to retaliate. In order for that to happen, though, we need specifically Heavensward 2 and Arc Flare. Heavensward 2 and Flame Shower is not enough. Fury and Arc Flare is not enough. We need specifically these two combinations of abilities. And yes, I did test that. I promise you. I'll go ahead and let this one play out. Looks like this video will be about 2.5 hours, so... even with skipping most of the combat. You see they do a big chunk of damage there, but because we're attacking, we don't take the second Incinerate. I did that wrong. Wait, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I didn't use Arc Flare anyway. I'm thinking about the wrong combat. You'll see. And just make sure. Yeah, I still have the charge of Arc Flare. Okay. Turn 36. Continue moving Formation 2. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll be like right here at turn 40. We're going to swap Aselia with Himika. We're going to train Orpha. We're on turn 36, and we're going to do it like this. Attack Formation 3. Okay. I don't know what this person's problem is, other than the fact that they have a 60% boost to their attack. There is no combination of units that I can use that survives this Heavensward attack. None. So, instead, fortunately, we leveled up Nymthor, we get to revive. This enemy is only going to attack us once, so they can only kill one of our units. So we're going to sack Nelly, kill this defender with Heaven's Sword and then revive Nelly at the end of the round of combat.
敵部隊を確認しました。
And yes, I tested that too. And it's like nothing ever happened. Alright. And then this is where the Arc Flare matters. We're going to use Swing 3, because it does slightly more damage than Swing 2. I did test that as well. We're not going to get hit, hopefully, but just do it just for shits and grins. And then we need Arc Flare here as well. So we need Swing 3 plus Arc Flare. Obviously, if we still had Triple Swing 1, we would be able to do a lot more damage. But, you know, we got to use what we use to get here, you know. No, that sounds like gibberish. We made the moves that we made to get here. So we just sort of have to plan around those moves now. And that wipes out the formation. And crucially, we wiped out the formation so nobody's healing on the city tile. We're on turn 37. We're going to swap formation 2. We're going to swap Nelly with Nanadu. Let me make sure that this is bolded. Let me make sure that the other one is bolded as well. Ah. Cats are bothering me. Alright, we're going to attack formation 1. I did not do that right. I bolded it, but I didn't do it. Formation 1. We need Heaven Sword 1, and then Inferno. This doesn't matter. This enemy is not going to let us do anything. We don't have any charges of Inferno left, so Heaven Sword 1 is just here to kill this defender. And then we're going to use Heaven Sword 3. We're going to use Aselia here with Impulse Blow 2. Nanadu can survive this hit, and it doesn't matter what we do with Nymthor because it won't get off. And then we train Orpha again. This is going to be a little controversial. I'm going to replace Flame Shower with Flame Laser here. I don't think that Flame Shower does as much damage as I would like it to. Especially if I compare Nanadu with Orpha. Nanadu's damage is significantly higher than Orpha's is. So Flame Shower is often something that I use because I had it, but it never really felt very good. Instead, especially because we're going to be fighting predominantly single unit formations, I have to imagine, including like dragons, but also all-rounders and stuff like that as well. I feel like the extra damage to defenders is going to be significantly more valuable than at this point, niche use of a 670 potency attack. I fully understand that is probably controversial, but that's my reason. This is turn 38. We're going to move formation 2 south. We're going to train Orpha again, so that she is now going to be level 20. We're going to attack with formation 1, using Asperia with Lightning Strike 2. Because there is no attacker here, and it doesn't matter what we do with Himika because she won't get her attack off. And then we're going to attack with formation 3. We're going to be using Nymthor as the attacker here with Lightning Strike. As you can see, that did a lot of damage. Orpha is promoted. She gets another shield ability. She can't take a hit, so it doesn't matter. We're on turn 39. We now have Formation 2 with the rest of the squad just in time. We're going to train Hallian. And we're going to attack Formation 1. We're going to use Swing 3 here. And we're going to attack with Formation 3. We're going to use our final 2 charges of Fury here. With Nymthor and Nanadu just sort of here to watch. And precisely on time, we get our last unit to level 20 at exactly turn 40. We get our last unit to level 20. So we met that requirement, or met that goal. And we're going to be able to take this town exactly on level 4, turn 40 as well, which gives us precisely SS rank. I'm going to train Hallian because I do want her to be stronger than that. She probably needs the most help out of all the green spirits. We're going to attack with Formation 1 here. We're going to use Asperia with, I guess it doesn't matter, to murder these enemies. And we get to use Nymthor to take this town, which means that we get a bunch of mine for Nanadu, which is quite nice. Now you're going to see here, Lightning Strike does a surprising amount of damage, right? Which is why I say that I don't really understand the physical versus elemental split. It seems really arbitrary sometimes what does damage and what doesn't. So that's why another reason why I didn't take elemental. And as you can see here, she's gonna do like 2,500 damage, and we had Formation 2 waiting in the wings just in case, but we didn't end up needing them. They're just here for moral support. And that is mission 19. It's a real doozy of a mission. It's not as difficult as mission 16 was, but it's close. Some of these longer missions really kick my ass. Pardon my language. Oh my goodness. We got almost 500,000 mana. Destroyed 39 squads, occupied 5 bases, got the final trainer for the mission for the game, got SS rank. We have so far gotten every single mana crystal that we have access to. We've gotten every single trainer, every single engineer that we have access to. The only thing that we have left is a couple of mana crystals and several dragon fights, which should be exciting. But that was mission 19. Mission 20 is going to pick up immediately after this, so I'm going to stop the recording here. Again, I apologize. Hopefully, me skipping through the battles is not super obnoxious. I feel like it's harder to watch, but maybe if you're really, maybe it's more convenient. I don't know. Let me know what the preference is. But that's going to be it for me for this mission. Just under 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm at 2 hours and 27 minutes, it looks like. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.